Hey, Quinn with Police Motor Training. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the use of the rear brake, where I'm using it and how much I'm using it, and more importantly, when I'm no longer using it. A lot of motor officers will use the rear brake, and I consider they'll use it to the degree that it's kind of a crutch. There's a reason a lot of motor schools say, hey, no rear brake. It's not because it doesn't work. Typically, the use of rear brake will mute the motorcycle's ability to give you good feedback when you're trying to learn the friction zone. If you're sloppy with the friction zone, the bike's going to jump ahead, and if I'm hammering the rear brake, the bike won't do that because I'm muting its ability. It won't surge forward. So I want that feedback when I'm learning the friction zone. Once I have that all worked out, I will drag the rear brake everywhere and forever. But what's important is we don't want this motorcycle to fight itself, okay? So we want to smoothly get through these patterns, and we want the motorcycle to support us in doing that. What we do like and what we do benefit from with the motorcycle is that there is forces on the chassis, whether it's a braking force or an accelerating force. In either case, those are stabilizing forces. So just to set this up to show you, I'm going to be riding in here. You're going to see me, I'm going to make a U-turn at this hat here. It says Resurgence. I'm going to make a U-turn here and go back the other way. I'm going to apply rear brake somewhere right around here as a stabilizing force as I'm trailing in to turn around. But here's what's important. At this apex point, and the apex is when I'm closest to the inside of a turn, we'll call this halfway through the turn, right? Halfway through the U-turn. Once I get to this point, I am off the rear brake. Why? Because I'm transitioning to an accelerating force now. So the motorcycle comes in with stability because I'm trailing the rear, and then it gains stability because I'm accelerating out. Both of those things stabilize the bike. Now, if I'm coming in here hard on the rear brake and hard on the rear brake through the whole thing, this 50% of the turn, this last part, the motorcycle is simply fighting itself. I'm telling it to go and I'm telling it to stop. And that makes this part quite a bit less stable for us. What I do is, when I come in here, you're gonna see my light come on, the brake light come on. Understand, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the, I'm going into ABS braking, 1 being I'm barely getting the light on, I'm at about a 4. I'm not using the brakes to slow me. I use the front brake. Front brake is what slows me down. I'm only using the rear brake for this benefit of loading the chassis and stabilizing it, okay? That stabilizing force. So I'm at about a 4. When you see that light go on, scale of 1 to 10, 4, not a lot of rear brake, right? As I'm coming in here, once I'm about here, 3, 2, 1, and I'm off the rear brake by the time I get to this point. So you should see my light come on, trail in, and when I reach this point, somewhere here, you should see that light go off. That's important because now I'm handing off the braking to the accelerating, and all that motion generates a lot of stability for me in both cases. But to do both at the same time and to really hammer the rear brake means the bike is fighting itself. So a lot of people will get comfortable sort of mashing this rear brake and riding these slow patterns everywhere, and you're going to fry your clutch, you're going to beat up your rear brake, the bike's going to be very unstable, and ultimately you're not going to ride well. So let me just show you what this looks like. Rear brake's on, off. That's it. It's just stabilizing me so that I can generate a nice smooth turn. That's all. I'm not hammering the rear brake. And I think what you're going to find when you do this exercise is that the motorcycle within its turning movement is going to be a lot smoother than what you're encountering right now. You're going to do this a couple times and go, wow, the motorcycle really was a lot more comfortable, and the contour through the turn was a lot smoother, simpler, easier, less drama. So that's kind of what I think you should experience when you start playing around with this. Is the motorcycle, you're now speaking in a singular term with the motorcycle. Slow down here, accelerate here. We're not doing both at the same time where the motorcycle kind of has this, what are we doing, where are we going, how's it going? So give that a try. You have any questions, reach out to me, policemotortraining.com. I think you're going to like it and work on that. Thanks a lot.